Hey y'all, how's it going? Jesse here from Mad Vapes of Shelby. Just wanted to do a quick little video on the Fireluke mesh tank here. Know what you guys are thinking. We've had these for a while. We've definitely already done a video on them. But I've had this tank for about 4 or 5 months now. And so I figured I would do a little video now that it's been out for a while, now that I've been using it pretty much every day for the last several months. And just kind of offer some insight on it, why I like this tank, its pros, its cons. So yeah, I really like the Fireluke mesh tank. Pros, they're really unique. It's a resin tank, so each one of them is one of a kind. You'll see ones that have the same colors, they'll never look exactly the same. The mesh coil, if you guys don't know, basically the way it works, instead of having a single piece of wire wrapped up into a coil, you just got a piece of mesh wire that's been threaded together, and it's in a circle in the middle of the coil, so you're getting a really even hit. It's evaporating all your juice evenly. I like this tank a lot because it wicks up really, really fast. You don't have to really worry about getting dry hits too often with it, unless you're just vaping high watts, taking long hits back to back to back. But the biggest positive about this tank to me is the fact that you get really big hits at lower wattages than what you would normally get that size of a hit at. So like, I'm not a big tank person. I've usually just used RDAs and RDTAs, things like that. I think the last tank I had before this was the TFV8. But I really like this tank because I don't have to run it as high of watts as I would with a normal tank to get the hit. So like normally with my TFV8, I'd run it at 90 to 110 watts, somewhere around there. And this here I can run at 55 watts all day long and get a really good hit off of it. Let's see. But yeah, really, really big hit off this at 55 watts. Normally you're going to get a much smaller hit than that. And so because of that, you save on battery life. Like, I've been using these same batteries for, I was using those last night before I went to bed, and I've been using them all day here today, and I've been vaping pretty heavily. And you can see there, my batteries are just about halfway now. So it's really good battery life to be vaping as much as I have today and as much as I did last night. So yeah, it saves on your battery life. That's one big positive feature to it. The flavor is second only to using an RDA. This is definitely the best flavor tank I've ever had. The coil life on them is really nice. I get definitely higher than average coil life. I think I've had this for, like I said, 4 or 5 months now. I've probably changed the coil 6 or 7 times. Probably, I'd say about 7 times. So I'm averaging about 2 weeks per coil. Most coils, you get about on average a week and a half to 2 weeks, but these I've been getting at least 2 weeks out of every one of them. I did have one dud coil, so that happens with tanks. Not all coils are gonna be perfect. I have had one bad one, only lasted about 4 days, but other than that, all my coils have lasted about 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So that's really nice. Not having to buy coils super often with them. One thing too, this tank, the coils can really handle a juice change. I know a lot of tanks, if you change flavors, especially if they're like not similar flavors, the flavors will kind of get mixed together and it won't taste quite right. This one here, you can vape all your juice out, change your flavor, and within a few hits, you're pretty much only going to be tasting your new juice. So that's really cool. And I think that has to do with the way that the mesh heats up evenly all around the cotton, so it's evaporating all that juice out at once instead of leaving spots where it's not getting evaporated at. One con about the tank I will give is that it doesn't hold that much juice, so you do have to fill it up a little bit more often than you do with some other tanks. It does go through juice a little bit quicker than, say, like the Scion tank or the UL Crown 3 or something like that, But, it's not too bad. I've had this same, I filled it up maybe 30, 45 minutes ago. About 45 minutes ago, I'm about halfway through my tank. But I have been vaping pretty heavily. I was back there doing some paperwork, so I kind of chain vape while I'm doing that. So, but yeah, guys, the flavor on this tank is absolutely amazing. And they come in some really cool colors, so that's always nice. It's your 810 tip, so you got tons of different tip options you can get for those. Pretty much, any tip you can put on an RDA nowadays is an 810 tip, so it's pretty easy to find that size now. But yeah, guys, I just want to let you guys know like what I've learned about this tank after using it for so long, what I like about it, what I don't like about it. I will say that it does take It doesn't take longer to break in than most tanks. You just got to be a little bit careful with it whenever you're getting your coils broken in. So like, you'll throw in a new coil. With most people, you can just prime your coil up, let it sit and soak for 5-10 minutes on most tanks, and you can just start vaping. This one here, you got to give it. I always give it 10 minutes minimum. I usually wait about 15 minutes to start vaping though. And the coils are good between 40 to 90 watts. I start mine out every time at 40 watts, and then I just kind of take short hits at first, getting it broken in until I can stop tasting that cotton flavor, and then you can bump it up to whatever you want to. And it can handle wattage changes really well. I know some tanks, especially like some other mesh coils for other tanks I've tried before, if you bump your watts up more than like 5 or 10 watts at a time, sometimes it'll almost start getting dry hits. This one here can definitely handle the wattage change. It can handle your juice changes. All around, it's my favorite tank out right now. They're really, really good. And even if you have a tank, because it is a mesh tank, I think it's a great addition to add to like all of your vape stuff, because sometimes you just want to change up flavors, and with the mesh, you're going to get the best flavor you absolutely can. So it's a great one to have, just to change out, try something new. And we do sell these for $44.99. I've got them in, this is the blue resin right here. I've got the black resin as well, and the red resin, which is actually a pink color. So yeah, guys, really love this tank. Come on by, check them out. Hope to see you guys later, and thanks for watching.